Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I will be covering 11 minutes worth of useless, somewhat interesting facts about public transport in Melbourne. This is a sequel to my previous video in which I spent 10 minutes on useless facts. Without further ado, let's get started. A few corrections to my previous video. There are actually 10 passenger rail bridges over the Yarra River. There's a second entrance to High Point that's much closer to the 82. I have been here before, and I had no idea this existed. Seriously, High Point is an absolute maze. This tunnel does see passenger trains. The Albury Line and the Sydney XPT. Alright, on to some more facts. Tram number 280, as of me writing this, is the last tram to have the old Yarra Trams livery. By the time this video comes out, it will probably have been repainted to the PTV Shard design. I have no idea why this tram map claims there's a free tram zone in Footscray. There's not. Some stop names are too long for D-Class trams to display, and so they'll announce the stop but won't show anything on the display. One example of this is Harold Holt Swim Centre. Albury is the only V-Line station to not have purple signage. This is because the station is controlled by New South Wales Trainlink, which has this bland orange design instead. Geelong is the only station with 3 platforms that's entirely served by V-Line. It's now illegal to build a new station with a curved platform. All new stations must have their platforms be straight. This also applies to level crossing removals. The oldest currently running trams entered service in 1979. There's a Cheltenham station in Melbourne, a Cheltenham station in Sydney, and a Cheltenham station in Adelaide. If you take the Werribee line frequently, you may have never noticed the abandoned Paisley station that you pass as you travel through Altona North. Most lines run some form of peak hour express services, but the Frankston, Belgrave, Lilydale, and Werribee lines are the only ones that have actual express tracks, which save a lot more time. The steepest curve on the Melbourne train network is on the Mernda line at Rushall. Bonbeach has the lowest patronage out of the rebuilt level crossing removal stations by quite a large margin, with an average of 700 passengers every day. Before 2014, there used to be peak hour and weekend only tram routes, such as the 24, the 79, and the 95. It's no longer possible to view tram stop patronage as this data has been removed from the Victorian Government website. The last station alphabetically is Yarraville. The first station alphabetically is Aircraft, which is named after an Air Force base, which is right next to the station. Keon Park is directly in the middle alphabetically. The Warburton line closed in 1965. Statistically, the most dangerous train station is Broadmeadows, although the chances of you being the victim of a crime here is still quite low. Tram numbers 2100 and 2102 had their numbers swapped shortly after delivery in the 1990s. I couldn't find any information as to why this happened. Every V-Line route is run by diesel trains, but this wasn't always the case. The Gippsland Line ran electric trains from 1954 to 1987, before it was shortened back to Pakenham following a decline in freight traffic. The Gippsland Line is also the only one in the whole state not to be named after a station on said line. Track exists to connect Ballarat and Geelong, but no passenger trains run between the two cities. You can tell what year each Extrapolis train was built by looking down below the door. On Extrapolis and Siemens trains, you can press and hold the door button before the train stops to exit as quickly as possible. PTV has a style guide that details every color and design convention used to create their maps. The tunnels at West Richmond Station are the only proper rail tunnels in Melbourne outside the city loop. Every other tunnel is usually just a road overpass. The end of the Hurstbridge line has many level crossings on private roads and driveways. Eltham, Upwey, and Westona are 2 platform stations located on single-track lines, where trains often have to wait for up to 5 minutes for a train going the other direction to arrive on the other platform before they can continue along the single track. One of Melbourne's few closed tram lines was the St Kilda to Brighton tram line. This line was unique as it was built by the Victorian Railways and used a wider track gauge than other trams, which was likely one of the reasons for its closure. Route 78 is the oldest route number that hasn't changed since it was assigned in 1934. It has always referred to the line along Church and Chapel Street. These trams are from Mulhouse, France. These trains are also used in Valparaiso in Chile. Before the metro tunnel was a thing, there existed a proposal called the Melbourne Rail Link, which would have looked like this if built. Seats like this on trams are embarrassingly common. I'm really not sure how you mess this up or what I'm even supposed to do on these seats. The section of Route 72 just south of Camberwell Junction has the lowest ridership on the entire network. Balaclava Junction is the only Grand Union on the tram network, meaning it's an intersection where trams can turn in any possible direction. V-Line almost didn't survive into the modern day. A 1980 report recommended the government to close every single regional rail line except for the Geelong line. Luckily, this didn't go ahead, although many lines did still close. Bayswater was the only level crossing removal that has both a road bridge and a rail trench. The 78 is the only route that has no accessible platform stops. More than half of Melbourne's metropolitan train lines end in the letter E or N. Mo is the only station name that is 3 letters long. Every Sunday, there is one train that runs out to Sale and back, and this is the only V-Line paper ticket service to end at a station that's not the end of the line. We used to have a tram route 69. I rang the bell made of jewels to inform the officer that due to lack of sunshine, the aircraft crashed into the pyramid near the Parliament. Flinders Street has no Platform 11. Woodend Station on the Bendigo line has the highest elevation in all of Victoria at 561 metres above sea level. The highest station ever was Shelley Station in the Berringama Mountains, which closed in 1981. Kinnifer Station was served by V-Line until 2012. Despite having a Melbourne route number, bus route 684 goes all the way out to Eildon in the countryside and has just one bus a day, leaving Ringwood at 6:43 and arriving at 9 p.m. This used to be a V-Line coach service and until 2023 ran from Southern Cross Station. Not sure why it was changed. In 2004, Rupert's Wood Station closed. This was located just north of Sunbury, and it was the only station in Victoria that's only purpose was to serve school traffic at the time. Stawell is the smallest town in Victoria with a bus service, having 2 routes that run incredibly limited service with just 10 buses a day, only on weekdays, and no service past 6:30 p.m. It's possible to travel from Canberra to Adelaide using V-Line. The town of Wycheproof is famous for the fact that the railway runs right through the middle of the main street. Only freight trains run here though, aside from the occasional steam tour. The suburb of Hughesdale is named after the train station, not the other way round. Mitcham, Nunawading, and Springvale were not level crossing removal project stations, and were instead done by the previous Liberal government in 2014. Route 67 terminates at stop 68. The highest numbered bus route is the 982 from Dandenong Station to Cranbourne via Endeavour Hills and Hampden Park. In 2009, they brought a Z-Class tram to Bendigo in order to see if a commuter service along their tourist tram line could work, but it wasn't a success, likely due to the fact that the tram was pretty old and it only ran every 20 minutes. East Richmond still doesn't exist. It's all just government propaganda. There was a steam tram in Sorrento during the 1920s. Yes, a steam tram. Route 75 terminates at stop 75. These trams also run in Hong Kong. Brighton Beach was originally just called Beach. The state of Victoria has a total of 27 different local bus networks across its various towns and cities. Shepparton has 2 buses labelled Route 1. Seems a bit confusing to me. The Arthur's Seat gondola has no connection to any other form of public transport. The nearest bus stop is a kilometre away, and there's no footpath. The Altona North Park and Ride might be one of the strangest bus stops in Melbourne. Its car park is hidden away and barely used, and it's only served by one bus route. The only thing stopping a line from Ballarat to Bendigo is 23 kilometres of missing track. And with that said, my time is up. Thank you for watching this video, thanks to my channel members for supporting my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.